50 years on from the start of television news being broadcast in New Zealand, pioneering broadcaster Dougal Stevenson remembers how it all began.
Yeah, I started in Dunedin, and in the very building that you're in, as a radio announcer. This is how it worked. It was always, well, by and large, it was radio announcers who began to work on television as continuity announcers, working between the various programs. And, back announcing one and pre-announcing the next. And that was part of the thing. If you showed any sort of aptitude for television, then they'd give you an opportunity to do it.
He says the skill of reading the news was lost on many people in the early days, with some struggling to transfer their skills.
But their news reading, they were somewhat, it was a bit vexing for them. They didn't seem to be able to determine what a news reading style was. So at one stage they actually employed actors to read the news off DNTV2, and it was a disaster.
Dougal Stevenson recalls when one young actor had a very bad night on camera.
Because I suppose when you employ an actor, you imagine that the actor will have somewhere in the imagination some idea of how they should present the news. But they didn't have a director, and actors need directors. So these actors, I remember sitting beside one night, and he started to fall apart. He started to make mistakes, and that compounded, and then he made more, and then he became incredibly embarrassed, started to sweat profusely, and in the end it was just a shambles for the poor man.
He says in the pre-network days, each region had its own station, with local anchors and readers becoming familiar faces. His chance came when he wasn't that good at the first television role he went into.
So I said, look, I wasn't a particularly good continuity announcer.
What's that?
Probably not warm enough at that time, a little bit, and somewhat sceptical of the scripts they made you read. You weren't actually encouraged to go beyond the word that they put in front of you at some program meeting in the afternoon, and I often thought that this was a bit, not just limiting, but some of it was a bit silly. Sometimes it was in very poor taste too, at least, or so I thought. Anyway.
Dougal Stevenson received a Queen's Service Medal for his contributions to broadcasting in 2013, and his warm tones can still be heard on Otago Access Radio and the occasional advert. In Dunedin, the South Today.